2025 and Die Rolling. I am your host, the ever excitable Adam, and I'm doing an impromptu Wednesday Waffle. Just to talk about 2025, talk about 2024 a little bit, and talk about some games I played of late, which have been pretty good. Now, normally on Wednesday Waffle, I will be talking about what I've been playing, what I've been painting, what I've been backing. So let's get through all that stuff straight away. So, painting. I've been doing a ton of painting. I have painted a bunch of Shadows of Brimstone content. So if you are a fan of the channel, you know every time I mention Shadows of Brimstone, you need to take a drink. And I didn't get myself one, so I'm just going to take a virtual drink here. Yeah, Shadows of Brimstone, painted a bunch of miniatures from there. You can find them on Instagram. And also, if you're an Ultimate Badass, you'll see them in the Ultimate Badass post that I put up lately, which was a little preview of some of the stuff we've got coming. Next, what have I been backing? So, end of last year, there were two games which really took my fancy. Three games, really. But two of them were backed. One of them being Sea Beasts, where it's like a kind of Viking boat voyage crawl, where you're trying to get from A to B, and you find all these monsters along the way. But Sea Beasts looks so much fun, and the components look great. So that, and the other thing I backed was Enormity, which looks great. It's Dead Space meets Event Horizon. Yeah, big sci-fi games. So I was like, oh, it looks so good. So I did back that. So that's what we've got. Two games. What I've been playing of late, I've been playing loads. Christmas was great. The best game I played at Christmas was probably the 6 Second Scribbles by Gamely Games. This is a fantastic game where it's very simple. You have a card which has got 10 items on it with a theme, and you've got a minute to draw each of those pictures as quickly as possible. Then people have to then guess what they are. 6 Second Scribble is fantastic. I'm probably going to get a copy for here because that was a present to my my in-laws from last year, but we finally got around to playing this year, and it was so much fun at Christmas. I cannot tell you how much fun that game is, and if you're looking for a good party game, yeah, 6 Second Scribbles is right up there. So 2024 was a really fun year for us at Die Rollin. Did a bunch of dungeon crawls, loads of Shadows of Brimstone content. We started Chronicles of Drenagor, and various other things smattering around there, but had a fantastic time. The Aircon last year was really fun, meeting some people and playing some games, and UK Games Expo was just fantastic. I had such a good time there. Hopefully I'm gonna go to both those events again this year. It depends. I might be moving at some point, so yeah, I might not be able to go to both, but I might be able to go to one at least. So I'll let you know what happens there. But if you are coming to Aircon or UK Games Expo, you can expect to see me at least one of those, and I'll have some fun games. If you'd like to come and play a game with myself and Alex, then yeah, just let me know and we'll arrange something. So, what else have I been playing of late? So, I've got some games here, and I'm going to go through these. So, there's 3 games I want to go through. And we'll just get into it. And then before we go, I'm going to tell you what the plan is for 2025, and also tell you which games tickle my fancy for 2024, which ones were chef's kiss, were fantastic. So, the first game I want to talk about is a game called May and Curse. May and Curse is a really fun kind of adventure game, really. The components in this game are phenomenal. You've got some lovely cardboard pieces, you've got some lovely like wooden pieces, some plastic pieces, all the pieces that you wish. The artwork's fantastic, and everyone loves an Indiana Jones themed game. I mean, you're playing these guys, you're trying to get knowledge, and knowledge is represented by various different kind of wooden tokens. I'm going to show you what they look like. The components, like I say, are fantastic. Look at this board. It's so lovely. It's just great. I always love a game which has got table presence, and this game exudes it. Exudes? No, exude. It's got a lot of table presence. So you've got, basically, it's very hard to show this like this, but you're going to have these, this is the area you're going up, trying to get to the temple. This will be populated with various different wooden pieces you can pick up. But this is again a bit of a puzzle because you have these little kind of tiles, you're going to be sliding left and right. So on your turn, you get 3 slides. So you move these this way, and what you're trying to do is line up these symbols because you will have drawn 3 tokens from a bag which match these symbols. And then you can move your character up the matching symbols and trying to pick up as much or as little items as possible on your way out. The tokens themselves that you're pulling out of this lovely bag are all plastic tokens, and they have all the kind of symbols on there. They're lovely. Some are double-sided as well, so you can have, some of these will have an option of which 2 you can pick from. You only get to pick one of them. So for instance, this tile here, that's got double-sided, and you choose which one you have. So you slide through things, then you move along with these, picking up along the way any of these kind of knowledge stellai, I'm not sure how you pronounce it. They've got various different points on the bottom of them all. But as soon as you start getting these really good ones, which have the really big points on there, then these wooden boulders start rotating their way towards the entrance, and basically will seal you off. And there's 3 of these guys with little tokens stacked on top. And the first time every time you grab one of those silver or gold kind of meeple things, you take one off, and then at the end of the round, you see wilders on top of here, and then that will move like so towards the nearest one with that symbol on. It also comes with some lovely screen printed meeples, and they're not all the same different colours. They actually have different designs on them as well, which they didn't need to do. There's a chunky first player token as well, and you also have some abilities on these cards. This is such a cool game, guys. It is so good. The actual components in it are just absolutely beautiful. Underneath each of these little kind of knowledge things, you get points, and you don't know how many points everyone's got until the end. And if you manage to get to the center of this, which by the way you're having to match all, once you move one of these, it moves everything on top, which is really annoying. If you get the very top, you get one of these ones which is worth 15 points. It's rare you get to do that because everyone is so busy screwing each other over. You kind of go in with a gentleman's agreement that no one's going to take the tokens that will trigger the boulders, and then one person does it, then everyone just rushes to try and grab as much stuff before they have to escape. So that is Mayhem Curse, and honestly, guys, it's so much fun. It's simple, but it's kind of simple to teach, but there's actually a lot of strategy in there around how you kind of get those puzzles out. So yeah, fantastic game. Speaking of fantastic games, We Fall On For You. Oh my word, this is such a fun game. I mean, the artwork itself alone would make anyone pick this up because it just looks great. In this game, you are going through the American wilderness in the pioneer times, and you're trying to get from Cedar Falls, which is a really kind of drab, kind of dying town, all the way to New Haven over here, which is a lovely, flourishing place. But there is only enough room for one player and any companions they have with them. Companions not being the other players at the table, companions being extra lives. So you're going to be moving from each of these tiles onto another tile, and then there's a little kind of cost at the bottom of each tile, which you have to pay to then move on to the next tile. If you can't pay that, you can kind of push your luck and take ailments. And yeah, if you get too many ailments, then your companions die your extra lives. So each board looks like this. So you're going to be putting your supply here. So any tokens you get, any kind of resources, which are wood, meat, or water, you're going to be placing in here. Your companions go in there. And then you've got your ailments over here. And like I say, once one of these goes all the way, a broken wheel, a thirst or hunger, once one of them gets to the skull, you have to kill one of these guys here. Now, at any point, if you have 4 or more tokens on here, you can sacrifice one of these guys, flip them over to show a skull side, and then place them on one of these areas to remove 4 of these tokens, which sounds like pretty harsh stuff to do, but in this game, you are going to have to try your very best to get all the way through because it's a tricky old game. Now, if you have run out of companions and you take some more damage, which would make you go to a skull. Then you flip over to the ravenous side and hunt down the other players. If that doesn't, you know, make you interested, then, well, you must be dead inside. So there's a bunch of different characters in this game. The characters are represented on the tiles by these really lovely screen printed meeples. There's a lovely first player token. There are some lovely dice you're going to be rolling, which have values of 2, 1, and X. X not being good, it's a scratch mark. You've got an absolute ton of events that are going to be coming out. And these things could be good things. So this could... He doesn't find a good one. You could do a combat roll and get that many resources. Fantastic. Or you could screw other people over by discarding their equipment. Your companions, like I say, they're double-sided tokens. Now, the nice thing about the companions is they could have just done the same token over and over. They're just extra lines. But they actually went with some theme here and made every single piece different. And on the reverse side, every single sacrificed companion is, you know, a skull version of themselves. In the book itself, didn't have to do this, but they actually spent some time to actually tell you what each of these companions are. So when you begin it, we do a thing where once you begin your journey, you read out all your companions, and then it kind of adds to the theme and the story of what you're doing. It doesn't add anything gameplay-wise, but it's just fun knowing, oh, I can sacrifice the drunkard or the artist. Who's least useful, for instance. They don't have any gameplay mechanics associated with their characters. That's their characters. There's equipment you can pick up along the way, which you can buy for the resource value there. So you can spend either some tool that's worth X amount, or you can spend resources to do that. They all help you with various different things, like shooting other players, helping you with combat, or it could be gathering more resources, or giving extra slots, because at the very bottom of this board, you have got a place to put storage stuff, 2 tools, and a weapon. Now, the tools are good because they basically will be generating resources every round. And like I say, when you want to leave a tile, you have to spend these resources. So in this place, you'd have to spend 3 wood, 1 water, and 1 meat. Now, up here is the resources available on this space. And you'll notice there's no wood on here. So you could be stuck on this space for a long time, unless you can find someone to trade with you, or you happen to manage to luck out from this draw bag, which starts out with some really nice things in. As the game goes on through the seasons, it's a bag of despair. The bag of destiny, I think we called it. It should be the bag of despair. So yeah, on your turn, you will basically move onto one of these tiles by paying the cost from the previous tile. You'll then gain any resources from the tool cards you have. You'll then roll, you choose whether either to roll a dice and take X amount of any of these things, or pick from the bag of despair. If you get an X when you're rolling, you have to pick from the bag of despair anyway. And then that's pretty much it. You can attack people on the same, on the same or adjacent space. You can initiate a trade with them. There's a trading post tiles where if you go to those, you draw 3 cards and you get to buy 1 item from there. It's as many items as you can afford. Yeah, so lots of different options on your turn. All the tokens, so for thirst, represented by that, the tokens are great. The whole game is lovely and chonky. Then the game ends once you get to 1 person goes to New Haven. All players are eliminated, which will happen when winter comes. So you've got these season cards, and each season will basically say, these are the things you're adding to the bag, which as you see is 4 good things and 4 bad things. And then these tiles, something happens on. Now there's a mixture. I think there's 6 of each season. So when you're playing this, it could be, you're not quite sure what the seasons will be, but winter is always the same. It's horrible. But yeah, that is We Forlorn for you. It is honestly such a fun game. It is a game that I play a lot of games, and I don't know if you know that about me, but I often play a game and it'll sit on the shelf, and that'll be it until, I don't know, until I'm going somewhere, or I know someone who really loved that particular themed game, but it'll sit there. We Forlorn for you, I keep thinking about this game. I keep thinking, oh, I'd love to get that out again and play that. I had some friends over tonight and I was like, oh, they really enjoyed that. Maybe we should get it out again. But we didn't because we're playing a different game tonight. The game we played this evening was Eshraton. Eye of a hawk, speed of a puma. This is a really cool game by Archon Games where you are trying to be the last cult alive. It's the end of the world of Unite and I feel fine. So each player is playing a cult. You are basically trying to vie for the favour of a dark god before the end of the world because the game ends at Armageddon. The components of this are lovely. You have got an absolutely fantastic board. And this is a mixture of deck building, simple deck building, and dudes on a map / area control. So this is your place here. All the black squares are how many points they're worth at the end of the game, how much favour you get from the dark one. So lovely board with some lovely art, and it's really thematic. Rulebook, very small, very simple, and great. And it's also got all the components in the game on the back, which is lovely. Each player is represented by cubes. Now you can get meeples for this as well, this game. But we've got some lovely kind of colours in here. You get abilities you can play, so you can place plagues places. The plague's great because basically for every, on the start of your turn, if you've got cubes in an area or plague, you have to get rid of 2 of your cubes. And the plague stays in that zone until there are no cubes left in that zone, in that territory. Each player gets a discard deck and a sacrificial pyre. So you can basically, with deck builders, you obviously want to like sort out the weak from the strong, or the weak from the chaff. What is that expression? So you can basically sacrifice stuff in your pyre, which still goes towards your victory point count, victory points at the end of the game, if they have victory points on them. You've got an aura area, so there are passive auras you can get, which will really help you out during the game. There's a lovely first player token. There's these lovely chunky bonuses you get for owning particular lands at the start of your turn. There is some lovely event cards which do various different things. There's events and omens. The omens are pretty cool because basically an omen card is revealed, and when the next omen card comes, whoever has filled this condition on here will get 7 victory points at the end of the game. Events will basically affect the entire game for a round, so you can get a plague appear somewhere. Something could basically get you some more cubes. You could lose cubes. Plays get placed places. Once you get the Armageddon card, you basically count up victory points from, or favour points from everywhere on the board. I seem to have misplaced my yellow cubes. There they are. These are some more colours we've got here. So black, kind of brown, brownish grey and yellow. So you have 6 players with this game. You've got some lovely plague tokens as well and curse tokens. The cards themselves are really easy to kind of do, and the game itself is pretty simple. So you've got 4 values on your card. You've got Zeal at the top. So on your turn, you'll basically draw 5 cards from your deck. You all start with a starter deck, and you can buy more things as the game goes on and improve your deck. But you start the game, you'll round up by drawing 5 cards. Then you go from top to bottom, working with Zeal. With Zeal, you basically will draw that many additional cards into play for this round, so you get more people out on the board or more abilities. Then this next one is Divination. So Divination, you will be asking for favors from the dark gods, the dark god, and they can be some really powerful things, which we'll go through in a minute. The next one is Influence. This is you basically how you buy stuff. So you see up here, she's got a value of 3. You could basically, with her, buy something of value of 2. And obviously, if you've got multiple cards with influence on there, then you can buy more things. And the final thing is combat. So combat is how you do stuff on the board, how you affect that map. So for each combat point you can do, you have to first spend some of those points, if you want to, on bolstering, which is where you add cubes to the board and locations you already have, or the Citadel, if you don't have any guys on the board, or if you just want people in a really good place where you get 6 victory points at the end of the game. So you don't have to do bolster if you've already got enough people on the board. Then you can advance and you can move each cube 1 space for each point you spend. You can't move the same cube twice. And the final thing is slaughter. So for every single point of aggression you have, you can then spend them to kill enemy cubes. You can only kill enemy cubes for the amount of enemy cubes you have. So cube you've got. So you've got 3 cubes, and there's 5 enemy in there. You can only kill 3 enemy. But yeah, you want to do that so that you end up having enough presence in the area to get points at the end of the game. The Arcana deck, where you get stuff from the Dark God, you'll get things like some special characters you add to your hand. You'll get relics, which will give you abilities if you chuck 2 of them away, and they always have on sacrificial part, and they always have victory points you get as well, which is handy. Edicts, which are fantastic powers that come out in your turn, and you can basically screw everyone else around the board. So the Edicts of Slaughter, when this edict is put into play, destroy any 2 cubes on the map, which is great. And then auras, which auras are pretty cool because they're like passive abilities that will affect the rest of the game once you've got them out. So let's try and find an aura to kind of like show you what one of those is. So the library aura here, as long as the library is in play, you receive a static +2 divination. So that's getting favors from the Dark God. Bonus to your divination attribute total. Eschaton is fantastic fun. This is a game which, yeah, I love deck builders. I love area control. And the theme of this, where you're all cultists trying to basically get favour from a Dark God before the end of the world, is unique. I've not seen that really before. And the artwork on this is lovely. Components are great. Just fantastic. I feel so privileged that these 3 review copies are all similar quality. Eschaton, We Fall For You, and Mayan Curse all have fantastic components, beautiful artwork, and such lovely tactile kind of things in them. So, 2024, played a lot of games. One game stood out for me as the game of the year, because it's a game which I absolutely love playing. The production quality is top notch. And it's going to be a dungeon crawler, and the dungeon crawler, because I absolutely love dungeon crawlers. And I played this game with solo on the channel for a couple of, I've got to edit those up. That should be coming out this month, depending on how my edits go. And I played it with some other people as well, and they also really enjoyed it. But my main issue, my main gripe with dungeon crawlers is that a lot of them are just movie character, kill a monster, loot a corpse, rinse, repeat. And you could be on a mission to rescue a princess or a mission to kill some rats or whatever, but they all feel very generic. Well, not generic, but they feel very, very samey. The level design is not amazing for some of these. However, this game, it felt like all my interactions actually had an impact on the story. I would go to a particular place and you'd basically open a book with a really cool picture, and then you would basically choose one of the options on there, and then go to a choose your own adventure style kind of like resolution to that. And the game is called Chronicles of Drunagor, and it's my game of the year 2024. It was an absolute pleasure to play it. It's a game I can't wait to get back to the table, because I played some of it wrong, but I had a fantastic time doing it. It's also a game that I went out and got some expansions for, because I want to experience the whole story. One of the great things they do with expansions with this system as well is you have expansions that come into, a lot of the time you have to wait till the story's ended before you can play the expansions, especially narrative campaign games. But with this one, they actually intersperse them in, you go 3 chapters in, you can do the Rune of Lucanor adventure, which was a really cool pirate themed one. You go a couple more in, there's another one. Or you can just buy the monster packs and chuck them in. There's so much to this game, there's so much to talk about with the game, and it's a game that you could just be playing that for years. There's so many variations in there. Granted, the story, once you've done it, you can go back down and go down a different route, and try some different characters out. All the characters play quite differently. The fact you have dungeon rolls as well, so you've got your skills, which are specific to your character. Then you have dungeon rolls, which give you a bit different skills. The fact that in Chronicles of Drunagor, you are basically spending coloured cubes to activate things. It was just a breath of fresh air, very different from other dungeon crawlers I've played. And my game of the year 2024, Chronicles of Drunagor, well done. Yeah, fantastic. So with 2025, I've got a ton of great content to make. We've got Shadows of Brimstones coming back. We're back, baby. We've got Man Curse, which I showed you just a moment ago. That's a 3-player game. We filmed that. That's coming up. We've got Waffle on for you. We're filming that tomorrow because we filmed it last week. We made a slight mistake, so we're going back to that tomorrow. So that'll be Alex and Jack. Eschaton as well. That's going to be coming to the channel as well. I don't know when we're going to release these because it all just depends on when the edits happen. I'm trying to be a bit more clear with what we're bringing out of the channel. So if you're an Ultimate Badass, you'll get like a notification, a post from me going, this is what we're planning to do for January. So January is going to be Chronicles of Drenagor, the Rune of Lucanor. So I have filmed those. I just have to edit those up. There's also going to be a couple of other things chucked in there. We managed to get a review copy of Earth Under Siege. So that's going to be winging its way over, and I'm going to prioritize that as well because there's a Kickstarter for that, I think, beginning of February. So yeah, you'll probably see some of that stuff just popping up on the channel here and there. I did a huge paint kind of crusade on Shadows of Brimstone, so that's coming to the channel as well. But we've got so much content coming on the channel this year, and some really fun games. As well as we're going to have some guests as well, some interviews. So lots to look forward to. Thank you everyone who's been part of this channel and helping us grow. And if you want to play a game with me, just let me know. And if we're in the same space, I'd be more than happy to play stuff with you. But that's about it really, guys. My Wednesday Waffles is something I was trying last year and it was working pretty well. Near the end though, I was running out of time to actually fit everything in. So I'll still do Wednesday Waffles, but they probably won't be as often, not weekly. It might just be every now and again. But anyway, I've been the Ever Excited Paladin. I hope you had a lovely festive period and a happy new year, and that you have some fantastic things yourself lined up for 2025. Until next time, guys, I'm going to shakily try and turn this off because my finger goes over the lens. It looks so professional. Until next time, guys, stay safe or die rolling.